7:03. I will call the meeting to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Iverson.
Here.
Schatzinger.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Gallops.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
Kotsky.
Here.
Sorensen.
Here.
Split.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I am Reverend Jeffrey Dodson, pastor at First Congregational Church. Please be with me in the spirit of prayer this evening. Gracious Creator, I ask your blessing tonight at this gathering of city leaders and community members. Help us work together to lead, cultivate in us an ethic of respect and integrity, inspire us to goodwill, and challenge us to envision something great for Ripon. Provide us the minds and the hearts and the hands for this work. Watch over our elected officials, law enforcement, emergency response professionals, public servants, and all who work to better this incredible community. We offer our gratitude for the generosity of people who make this community safe and beautiful. For this purpose, for this place, and for these people, I pray. In the name of Christ, amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. At this point, I'll be seeking a motion for the approval of tonight's agenda with the removal of the second closed session topic, development agreement amendment to 230 Watson Street.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Howard, second by Page. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved or opposed? That is approved. All right. We do have a public comment this evening. This is the opportunity for citizens to come before the council with comments and concerns on any current city issue, knowing no action will be taken tonight. I ask that you keep it civil and respectful and within 5 minutes. However, discussion of personnel or individual members of the common council shall not be permitted. I expect you to be respectful, and in return, I expect the council to treat the citizen with the same respect. Before you begin, please state your full name and address for the record. Tonight we have, is that John Harden?
You got it.
Please step forward to the microphone.
Hi, my name is John Harden. I just want to introduce myself to all of you. I just moved into town 2 weeks ago, and I'm a little civic-minded, so I want to help out. So I'm happy to get a chance to listen to what you all talk about, and I hope to learn more over the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Moving right into our first agenda item. This is the Tigert Street Bridge removal and Silver Creek Stream Bank revetment professional services agreement. Adam, give us a short synopsis. We also have a representative from MSA here to discuss this.
Yes, Dan is with us tonight to talk about this agreement to get some work done on the Tigert Street Bridge. As you are all aware, that bridge failed about a month and a half ago. So in preparation of removing that bridge and kind of cleaning up that area, we had MSA come and look at it and put together this professional services agreement to begin work on removing it and stream bank revetment, hydraulic analysis, and other project engineering. Dan, if you want to get specific or talk about why it's not just as simple as hiring someone to remove a bridge.
walk through what we need to do, I guess, a little bit. So Adam came to myself. For those of you who don't know me, Dan Romer, engineer here in town, done a couple street projects and stuff like that. I by no means am a bridge expert myself, but I have worked on a couple of them. Basically, the long story of what needs to be done here is obviously bridge is being removed. At this point, this contract is to remove the bridge and do the hydraulic analysis to do the stream bank revetment. With that comes a lot of field data that we need of the existing stream, basically from the bridge to Eureka Street we need to analyze. So it's not just, one bridge right here. So there's field data that we need to do, and then there's modeling and analysis for DNR to get permits, approvals, all that kind of stuff. A while ago, I think Adam and I talked, so this is kind of biting off a piece of the whole stream analysis, which is something that we've kind of talked about with Mike and Adam. So it's not, that will help us in the long run, I guess, in the future, if we keep going down this path of analyzing some of the other structures. So essentially, a lot of this is for DNR and approval. Anytime you touch any sort of stream, river, anything like that, and you're pulling out a bridge, as we are right now, they require a lot of information and a lot of, I guess, analysis of it. So that's kind of the short and sweet. If you guys want more details, I'm happy to go into a little bit more depth in it, but.
And just to be clear, this agreement is just for the engineering and prep work for a bid to be placed for a contractor to do the job.
Correct. So this would basically be field data, then go back into the office and design the removal, if you will, and then get a package for a contractor to bid on.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dan or Adam? Dave?
So what you're looking to do is just shore up the banks from the bridge to Eureka Street.
So we are, all that we'll be doing is from the, Jackson Street Bridge to Scott Street. So that's the only area that we're going to be touching as far as stream bank or anything like that. We just need to analyze further to see how the water moves. Essentially what DNR is looking for is, once you touch a stream bank like that, you can't raise the elevation of the water at all. So that's basically what we have to do, is figure out how wide it needs to be. And per Adam's request, there's some retaining walls and stuff in there right now. And we're looking at more of a natural landscape, if you will, something that might be a little bit greener, a little bit more appealing to the eye, I guess. So it's something that we're looking at it long term, and to be honest with you, that's the best way to go about it, because vegetation only gets stronger over time, whereas you put concrete or something in there, it starts to break over time. So it's probably one of the best ideas that you can go with. So,
Doug?
Okay. Yeah, looking at the agreement here, do you anticipate any floodplain changes?
no.
I didn't think so, but
So that's part of the, it is in the floodplain, but that is part of the analysis that we essentially can't change that at all. That's part of the no adjusting the water elevations or anything there.
okay, and all right, I think that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Now, so I do see that in the proposal, it says a bridge construction estimate will be included. Here, what you talk about is just about the removal of it. Is that, but there is a plan to rebuild a structure for a bridge.
Potentially, that was discussed with Mike and Adam. Right now, this is strictly just to remove it, and then what we would provide is a cost to do engineering and potential for a pedestrian bridge there. So that's part of this package is, so we're going to remove the bridge, do the stream bank stuff, and then we're going to say, hey, if you guys want to put a bridge back, it's going to cost X amount of dollars if you go with this style, or, say you pick this bridge that's 40 feet long or something like that. So it's just kind of to prepare you guys in case there was a need for a pedestrian bridge there, because that option was talked about for a while. But the main concern, I think, right now in trying to fast track this is get the bridge out of there because it's not safe. So none of the actual design engineering will be completed under this contract for a new bridge. It'll be basically just a rough estimate.
And I'm not an engineer, so I assume that I can assume that you would be presenting this because reconstructing the bridge or repairing the bridge is at this point not an option, which is why you're saying it needs to be removed?
Yes, I mean, that bridge is quite old. I'm not a bridge expert. I did have a bridge expert with me when we analyzed it, but when we were looking at it on the bottom side of that bridge, I mean, that hole is, I think we measured it 10 by 10 at the underside of the bridge. So there's really no repairing it, and to try to repair it would probably cost just as much, if not more, than to replace it.
Thank you.
Yep.
John?
Are we thinking of replacing or taking out the retaining walls that are there now from Scott Street to the bridge, the Tiger Street Bridge?
Yes.
Okay.
So essentially that whole stream bank between Scott and Jackson will be different, except for that newer retaining wall up by Scott Street, I believe.
No,
Jackson, sorry,
yeah.
sorry, got my streets mixed
Yeah.
around. So that newer one that is so looking at the old walls, those are in pretty rough shape. So essentially it would be some sort of, like I said, like a riprap or a greener option. So it'd be either stone or some sort of stabilized grass that would be growing in there after.
Just a thought, I know right now, and Mike would know, they can't mow that right now, it's too steep. So possibly, I mean, again, he's not a bridge expert but he's an engineer. If it could be terraced somehow, that it could be mowed.
And that could certainly be an option. I guess, that comes into some of the analysis, right, on the stream itself. And I guess the other kind of thought there is how much of the park are you going to start losing as you start widening that out? So there's kind of a fine line. Obviously, there is like the parks master plan that we're kind of working into this. So that's all being considered, I guess. So as far as if it is vegetated, we can talk to Mike, figure out what he's capable of mowing, and we can see what those impacts would be.
Thank you.
I realize we're not talking about this now, but I do want to make it share that I hope when we really do our comprehensive review of parks, as we talk about not just about mowing, but maybe this is an opportunity to build back some natural prairie, have a butterfly garden, these types of things. Again, I realize that that's not on the agenda right now, but I do think it needs to be said that there is maybe more of a comprehensive plan as to what we hope to see in our parks, rather than, of course, just what we can mow.
And I'll just comment on that. I think a lot of the initial discussion was, what's the easiest, cheapest solution for some of this? And riverbank stabilization, when you get that bridge out of there, it's going to look wildly different, and it's going to be cut back way further than what you would ever think. So we had talked about, what is riprap going to look like? Is there an opportunity to build in something a little bit within the parks master planning and in tandem with this project to build in something that is more natural on one side or both sides, to then also allow access to the creek for, just to be closer to it, or to put seating down there, or to any of that. So we've talked about that briefly, but you putting rock in there has a different, it limits access. It just, and you're right by the dam as well. So we got to be careful of what we do in all these places, because if it floods and you don't want things getting ruined. But ultimately, the park plan and this in tandem, I think, whether it's natural areas or a bridge, will identify options.
Dan? Yeah. From a DNR standpoint, could you talk about, I think there's going to be two types of permits. One for the removal of the bridge. And we want to tie that, I believe, into potentially putting the bridge back on, and how long that, by doing that as permits, that will give us a length of time to make a decision on a bridge, correct?
Right.
Without jumping through a bunch of hoops down the road.
Right. So basically, I believe the permit period is 5 years from once you obtain the permit. It's good for 5 years, and then basically you have to do the whole hydraulic analysis again, or find a way to convince DNR that it's still accurate, right? So essentially, there's kind of two ways to go about it, and it's always easier to put a bridge back in where there already was a bridge. Once you remove it and then you try to put one back, say 15, 20 years, there's going to be more requirements, more hoops to jump through, essentially. So basically in our analysis, we'd say, if we were to replace this bridge, essentially what it would have to do is meet all the requirements still of the permit, again, not adjusting any of the water elevations or anything like that. So we can put in there, we would have abutments or something like this placed so far apart so as not to affect the water. And then at that point, we kind of write that into the permit process, and that would allow us the 5 years in order to potentially put a bridge back. Again, DNR can always change their mind. So 5 years, who knows if that's gonna stay true or not, but that is about the time frame roughly. And again, the 5 years would be having the bridge fully designed and constructed in those 5 years. So you probably have 2 to maybe 3 years maximum in order to get design work and construction done in that 5-year window. Does that answer?
Anyone else?
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with MSA for the Tigard Street Bridge project, not to exceed $45,900.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Dan. Next, we have 2 items that are very similar, but we'll take them one at a time. First is an amendment and restatement resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of up to $448,819 in sewerage system revenue bonds, Series 2022. Adam, want to give an overview of both of these?
Oh, sure, I can. So we met at a special meeting. This does not, on June 30th, to approve both of these resolutions. We're still on pace to close with the interest rate in 2 days. What happened was the DNR made a mistake in the paperwork through the Clean Water Fund and Safe Drinking Water, and did not include the fact that we will be refunding a construction financing note with these bonds. So when we were working through the closing with them, and we said, yep, we're going to be paying this off, they said, well, we didn't know that. And we said, well, you did know that, because we told you. And they said, well, that's a problem. So it wasn't us, and it wasn't the attorneys, it was the DNR. So we just need to reauthorize these amended resolutions to continue on track to close on the 27th.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended and restated resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of up to $448,819 sewage system revenue bonds, Series 2022, providing for other details and covenants with respect thereto.
I'll second it.
Moved by Doug, seconded by Ellen.
And I'll move to approve the.
We're going to take them one at a time.
Oh, okay.
Did you have another comment, or are you going to make the motion? Okay. So first one's been moved by Doug, seconded by Ellen. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one is approved. Ellen, would you like to make the other one?
Thank you, Mayor.
Go for it.
I would like to move that we accept the amended and restated resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of up to $743,324 in water system revenue bonds, Series 2022, and provide for other details and covenants with respect thereto.
I'll second that.
Moved by Ellen, seconded by Paige. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Thank you. All right, moving on to project updates and staff reports. Anything from Public Works? Police Department? And Adam?
No.
Oh, all right. I have no appointments tonight, but hopefully I'll have a list of them for the next meeting. And any future agenda items or comments from council?
I'd like to bring forward that UTV, ATV ordinance for the next agenda item. Just talk through it with the new council, see where everybody is on it. And I think, and I'm not sure, I need to have someone second it to take it off the table, or do we do that now?
It is tabled. We'll have to do it at that time.
Okay, that's
To have
fine.
someone remove it off the table.
Yep, okay. Just want to discuss it again, and that's all I have.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. At this time, I will seek a motion to adjourn to closed session under Wisconsin Statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Topic will be a proposed sale of city industrial property, and we will also be reviewing the minutes from June 27th, 2022's closed session.
Motion to adjourn to closed session under Wisconsin statutes 19.851E.
Right?
I'll
Is there a-
second.
Okay. Moved by Paige, seconded by David. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned to closed session.